Good day, everyone. Welcome to the Post-Roe Show. I'm Nicholas Check.
I'm Bekah Compton.
And today it's a Q&A day. We're learning a little bit about us. All right, so Bekah, you and I, we've known each other for ever and ever.
Ever.
Yeah, there's baby pictures of us.
Since we were little.
Since we're cousins. But we know, the viewers and anyone listening, they only know what we tell them about us.
Mm-hmm.
So we thought today would be a good day just to share a little bit about ourselves and ask how we got where we are today and learn random fun facts you might not have known about. About Bekah and I. So we'll start off with a real broad, easy one. Well, this will be for both of us. How did we both get into the pro-life movement, if you want to start?
I was going to start? Okay. So I was raised pro-life, but I really didn't start learning about it until like 5th grade. And 5th grade is when I was actually going to go to the march for the first time. But it got canceled because of a snowstorm. So it wasn't until like 6th or 7th grade till...
Was the march canceled or was your bus trip canceled?
It might have been the bus trip.
Okay.
One of the two was canceled because it was really bad. And so then it was 6th or 7th grade that I actually got to go. And I loved it. And I loved it ever since. And I just kept learning about it. And then I think I mentioned in one episode when I started it and stuff. I started it. And my junior year, my Students for Life group started it then. And then obviously I graduated and we did this. Now we're doing our podcast.
Yeah, I'll just answer for me now. Very similar story. Grew up Catholic, been pro-life my whole life. I couldn't tell you when I first started learning about abortion and what it was about. But my first time at the March for Life, you got to go before me. I went I think my first year was my freshman year. Because, your mom would handle the trips, so you got to go early.
I got to go early.
I went my freshman year. Absolutely loved it. It was an amazing trip. Then we had 1 year canceled for COVID or so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then got to go to the Pro-Life Summit. I started the Pro-Life Club with you. Ended up being in charge of the Putnam County Students for Life group. Went off to college. Started in OSU Lima Students for Life. Follow us on Instagram. And, in our time, we went from when we started our club, we started our podcast, little podcast. We're here today, and we love it oh so dearly.
It's like a little baby.
Yeah, it's awesome. This is our child. We will nurture it, and it will grow up someday.
We're trying to get it to grow.
Yeah.
Alrighty, our next one for generally both of us. What is our favorite and least favorite pro-life experiences? I'm going to have you start this time.
All right, that's fine. This is so hard. Favorite pro-life experiences. I'm going to give two answers. Okay. One is my truthful answer, and one might be a little more interesting for other people. My favorite one, I would have to say, is this podcast. I love this podcast. No matter how small it is, I have so much fun just sitting here talking with you, talking whoever's in here with us on any given day. This definitely is my favorite thing I do. And something that is outside of here, I personally enjoy doing table events on my campus. I like to talk to whatever college students will give us their time, just talk with us for a little bit. I'd say that has to be my favorite. Least favorite, I'm probably going to have to go with, it's probably my lack of knowledge in certain aspects. I don't like it when I'm posed with a question head on, and then it's like I have to, and no one likes to admit arrogance or sorry, not arrogance, ignorance.
Yeah.
So when a question's posed to me, I have to be like, yeah, I don't know. And you just want to blow it. That's the worst part. So I'd have to say that is when you get hit with one of those moments where you just don't know due to lack of knowledge.
My favorite would have to be this podcast because it's just my favorite experience. I love talking to people and getting to know them, especially like our interview episodes, which we got more in the future, guys. And probably the March for Life trips. I just love those so much. I always look forward to going to them. I'm going to be so sad. I'm going to be sad, but also happy. I'm going to be really how would you say it? Like mixed happy and sad. Sappy, that's what I was thinking. I'm gonna be sappy when they don't happen anymore.
Yeah, it'll be good when they're not needed.
Yes, but it's gonna be sad because you don't get that experience with the movement altogether and going to DC. Having a fun trip.
I think even though once we inevitably beat abortion, stay tuned. It's where you're going to win. I'd say once we inevitably do that, I have a feeling there will still be marches, just in that, yes, we can change the legislature, but there are still hearts to change past that. So there will still be big pro-life gatherings to figure out how we can more efficiently bring care to women and parents, and also work on the foster systems and adoption, all of that. There will constantly be a need for pro-life help, because this world is imperfect and there's always more to be done. So whether that is explicitly outlawing abortion, once that is done, there will still be more work to be done. So I think we'll be marching for a long time.
I love those.
Oh, I do.
My least favorite, probably similar to you, is when I don't know how to answer a question. Or when I'm talking to someone about it, and then our conversation has to stop. And then I can't continue it with them. Like, I can't be like, oh, yeah, I looked up this answer. Like, I know the answer to this now. Like, when I did the research on it, and now I know how to answer it. And I'm like, I can't go back, because either that person moved on somewhere else, or that person, I just can't have that conversation with them again, because it just doesn't come up. And it's a little awkward when you're like, hey, can we continue that conversation that we had a week ago?
Yeah, it's hard when you only have so much information in your head, and but they can shoot as many questions as they want, and sure, they can all be honest questions, which is a good thing. But then you might reach a point where it's like, I don't know, I might need to figure that out. But that, even admitting that lack of knowledge, whoever you're talking to, they can instantly then think, oh, I got you, I found the hole in your argument. It's not necessarily a hole, just a missing piece of information, because I don't know everything. I would love to know everything.
But sadly we don't. It's not how it works. You can't keep a lot of information in your head unless you're uber smart. And you have a lot of room in your brain. Uber smart, and you got a lot of room in your brain. Yeah.
All right. Who's your favorite pro-life speaker to listen to? Ooh.
Honestly, not gonna lie. Is it Kristen or Kristen? Kristen Hawkins or Lila Rose.
Lila Rose?
Yeah. One of those two are like my favorite, specifically pro-life speakers.
Yeah, that's kind of like you get to choose. Kristen, she's not afraid to sometimes talk smack, which, I mean, I think you should be a little gentler, and sometimes when you say things, I think so. There's a place for anger, and so I'd say, she's good. She's justified in it sometimes. But Lila's very caring in the way she speaks. I do like Lila Rose.
Yeah, I watched the reason why I picked Lila was because I watched a podcast with her recently. It was one where she was debating with a pro-choice woman.
Whatever the podcast you said?
It's not the Whatever podcast.
Not the Whatever.
It was some smaller podcast. Okay. That had her and
how small can we get her here?
And a pro-choice lady, and they were just kind of talking about it, having a conversation. It was kind of like a little debate, but yet a little more relaxed.
Whatever, chill and relaxed. I personally like Michael Knowles of the Daily Wire. He's just, man, he's so entertaining, and I like that he ties Catholicism into things. Sure, he can make an argument without needing religion to back him up. That's just, that's the thing about the pro-life movement. It's secular, however, the people who can also tie their religion into it have really strong ground to stand on. The religion can help motivate them, but you don't need religion per se to understand biology and stuff like that. Granted, any moral argument, even to say right now I can't go out and kill anyone, is technically a religious argument, but most people won't even, people don't really consider it religious argument. But I just personally like his ties to Catholicism into everything, and Yeah, he's also funny. He's good.
That's fair. I would have to do, if I went for like any like podcast person, had to be Brett Cooper.
Brett Cooper stuff.
I listen to her all the time. Like, I'll be cleaning my room and I'll just put on Brett Cooper and I'll just let him play. I'll just let him go and I'm like, I'm listening to it. I love her.
Yeah, she's funny. She covers a whole range of topics though.
She does a bunch and I love it. They're all interesting. Love you, Brett.
Yeah, love you,
now
Brett.
That you're watching
Reach out to us. Oh, watch, we'll see her at the March Flight. If we see her,
I'm gonna
we
cry.
run full speed.
I will cry.
Oh, it's like when we saw she was interviewing people. One of them.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out, Beck. If we see Brett Cooper, we are mad dash.
We're going for it.
The dreams. We will get to see Mike Pence though. Did you see?
I think
they just announced that Mike Pence is going to be speaking at the Pro-Life Summit.
Really?
So we will get to see.
Yeah,
him.
I saw Ella because Ella really wants to get a picture with him. She's like, I'm going to be so mad if I don't get a picture with Mike Pence.
I think she just should maybe not think about that because the chances are it's hard to get close to Mike Pence.
She wants to get a picture.
But yeah, so that'll be exciting. Oh. I like this question. Oh. What's your favorite episode of the Post-Roe show?
Oh, my favorite episode.
If someone was about to say, "Hey, Bekah, I heard you have a podcast. Which one should I listen to first? Which is the best episode?"
I would go. Okay, so there'd be two categories I would go in. The first category I would go in was like interview-wise. Like which interview is our best, and then the second one I would go to is which like educational kind of one would be. And so then the first one for interview I would go with our most recent Wendy Imm. I loved that episode. Oh my god, it was one of my favorite ones. I felt like her story was so touching.
Yes,
literally I think my mom cried while watching it.
It was so good. Wendy is terrific.
She's so good. And for our educational one, to be honest, our Catholic one, that would have to be my favorite educational one.
Yeah, I'd say you hit it right on the money with those two. I liked our other ones. I really liked our episode with Allison and Jamie. I think it was nice to have them work that was a really good pair to bring in together. I might enjoy our conversation with Wendy a little bit more, just in that it was very different. Yeah, it was a nice change of pace. But Allison and Jamie, top-notch episode. And then I did like our Catholic episode.
Our Catholic episode, I feel like that one was just really good.
Yeah. I think that covers it for our questions for the both of us. Now, we'll switch we'll go back and forth asking each other one question. We won't both answer it, but if you want to, you can go first.
Do you want me to start?
You can start.
Okay, ready?
Ladies first.
Oh, wow.
Chivalry's not dead.
Okay. If you could meet one of your idols, what would you say to them?
If I could meet one of my idols, what would I say to them? I think... Okay, this would be only funny for the people who actually listen to Michael Knowles. I would want to meet Michael Knowles, and I would say, Michael Knowles, you are hip with the Utes, because he was talking to Brett Cooper one time, and he found out Brett had more subscribers than him.
Were you upset when I passed you in YouTube subs?
You passed me in YouTube subs? Yes, I am upset.
I know.
And he's like, but I thought I was hip with the Utes.
No, I don't know. I'm not like, maybe I'm just not hip enough.
No, you are approaching the kids, remember?
I thought that I was cool with the youths.
And I want to tell him, the Utes or the youth, we do like you. Trust me, my brother watch you all the time. I want to give you that reinforcement. You are hip.
You are hip with youth.
No cap.
Oh my gosh.
Oh. All right, mine for you.
Oh, okay.
If you could see this podcast go anywhere, what would be your absolute dream for this podcast? What would, if you could say one top goal, whether it be one person to have on here, a subscriber number, a number of videos. If you could have some big goal with this podcast, what would you want it to be?
Can I pick two?
Yes.
Okay. So I would love to have lots of, I don't have a certain number, but I would just love to have a lot of videos come out. I would just have a lot of information. I just want a lot of videos, because that for some reason leads me to just successfulness.
Yes.
In general, it's just having a lot of videos out there and a lot of good information out there. For the second one would be a person, honestly, someone really big.
Yeah.
Like Kristen Hawkins.
How cool that'd be to get Kristen on here.
That would be so good. Or Lila Rose, or
between you and me. So here's what we do. Now we can only say for now, and we can dream big. But as we dream big, might as well just say it right now.
Yeah.
Hear me out. I get Kristen Hawkins on my college campus, and then while she's in town, we just
We
ask
just
her if
ask
you want
her?
to interview her. We
That
can
would-
interview her on the college campus.
That would be awesome.
All right.
If that could happen, I would cry.
All right, cool.
I would
So
be like,
I'm going to make Bekah's dream come true someday. Just you wait.
have somebody big on here.
That would be so cool. All right.
Okay.
Your
Ready?
turn.
Ready.
I'm ready. Ready. Ready.
What do you like doing in your free time?
My free time. I'm going to exclude what I've done with these past few days, which is I played a lot of Minecraft. But in general, when I'm not playing Minecraft and that I've gotten off this Minecraft high, I do like to read. I've recently got back into audiobooks. Screw Tape Letters is what I'm reading currently. Oh my goodness. By C.S. Lewis, if you get the chance, fantastic book. Oh, so good. I spent a lot of time over the past couple years learning how to do close-up magic. It's a little hobby I learned how to do. That was my COVID hobby. I learned how to do magic tricks and stuff, and so that's one of my preferred hobbies. Aside from that, yeah, mostly that. I do game. Gaming's fun. I do this. This takes up some of my time now that I'm editing videos.
Yeah.
And then school takes up a lot of my time too.
Yeah, school.
Yeah, but I'm also a social butterfly, so I like to meet with people. We were talking with some friends the other day. It was like we were playing this board game, and the question was, how many like close friends would you meet with on a regular basis? Like, what do you think a good number for him is? And we switched the question to, out of all your how many friends do you think you have that you could spend an entire day with? And the issue is, I'm such a social butterfly. Almost anyone I know, I'd be willing to spend almost an entire day with them.
Really?
I would get coffee with them and talk all day about who knows what. I just talk a lot.
Just like discussing.
My social battery is pretty much nuclear in that it is self-sustaining and does not end.
Oh my god, I love that.
All right. Well, I have a similar question of mine. What are your hobbies? What do you like to do, Bekah?
I have lots of hobbies.
Okay.
Like, I have a lot.
What are your top hobbies then?
Top hobbies?
Hobbies.
Okay. Recently I've been trying to attempt to make a sourdough starter. Learning how to make bread. And so far I was like at the 14th day, and then I ran out of flour, and I got flour back, but I keep procrastinating feeding it, so I probably should do that tonight.
The concept of I have to feed the
I have
starter.
to feed my starter.
Yeah, I don't know anything about making bread, so
Yeah.
to me that sounds like feeding a dog, but
Yeah,
but
it
bread.
kind of is. You gotta feed your starter. So I need to feed my starter. And then I sew a little bit. I like taking pictures a little bit. I like doing art a little bit. Less art. I used to do art all the time, but I recently decluttered my room, and all my sketchbooks and all my art stuff has been put in the storage unit. That little hobby's going out the door. Love doing
You'll find
hair.
it someday.
Love doing hair, obviously. A hairstylist. I know I have more. What is my...
You're jack of all trades. You're
I
very
know,
artsy.
yeah. Crocheting, reading.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot. I like to do a lot
The
of
whole
things.
shebang.
A lot of creative things. Mainly creative things. Stuff that I had to, sit down and, let's say studying. Definitely not, a hobby. Like, some people would do that all the time. It's not one of my things. I like more creative
See, I can't
things.
imagine, once I'm finally out of school, and, obviously I'll have a job, so that'll take up time. But to not have to worry about homework or anything like reading assignments, oh my goodness.
It's awesome.
What would I do with all my time? Obviously work, but
it's awesome.
to get off work and not have homework, oh, I envy you.
It's awesome. I
Yeah.
love it. I love
Someday.
adulting. Adulting.
I'm adulting technically, but
Yeah.
not with a job yet. I'm doing school adult. I'm doing adult school.
Definitely what I was meant to do. All right. So my next question for you is, what is the most interesting thing you've learned recently?
Interesting thing I've learned recently. I would have to say, in the past 24 hours, I would have to say what I've learned briefly reading Script Tape Letters. That's really been the things running through my mind recently is wow, that information is just really good. It's, if you don't know what Script Tape Letters are, by C.S. Lewis, it's a book about, it is a fictional book about a demon writing letters to his nephew, talking about how best to tempt people. And the idea of it is to give you an idea of how people can be tempted and drawn drawn out of their faith in very sneaky ways. So I think Screw Tape Letters has been the most interesting thing to me very recently, because it makes you look at things in a very different way of like, oh my goodness, I've definitely seen that before. I can see how these little things that are so subtle and don't seem like a big deal can totally drag you out of your faith and stuff. So yeah, that has definitely been the most interesting thing to me recently.
Wow.
That book is so good. Oh, I love it. I tried to read it before going to bed last night though. I started it and I was like, what the heck am I doing? I turned off. I'm like, this is.
I feel like you always do that.
Well,
you started late at night, and then you're like, nope, I regret. I regret.
try to start these things late at night. I'm like, actually, no, absolutely not. This is not a bedtime story. Then I spent the next hour trying to find a different book to read, and then I just fell asleep because I couldn't do it.
That's fair.
Yeah. All right. Important question. What's your opinion on Crocs?
Okay.
Let the whole world know.
Yeah.
All those people who are sitting there watching this right now with their Crocs, knowing, oh, I love my Crocs. What do you think of Crocs?
I used to wear Crocs. I used to like Crocs, right? They're just like a comfy shoe, right? I don't like them anymore.
Why? Because it looked like you wrap your feet in a waffle?
Yeah.
They look.
I don't like them anymore, but also I'm not any better because I wear slipper shoes.
In the house or out of the house, though?
I'm wearing them right now.
Oh.
Like, hold on, we're going to show off my shoe.
Oh,
Here's
that is definitely.
It's literally
definitely a slipper.
It's literally a slipper, but it has a shoe bottom. That's why I don't wear Crocs anymore.
Yeah, but
because I wear slipper shoes.
It looks a little bit dressier than a Croc, though. So
it does.
Yeah. Man,
I guess I don't really like them anymore.
I know so many people wear Crocs. I'm just like, why? They look
like
rubber waffle shoes.
I don't mind them if you like own them and then you wear them outside to just do something real fast if you're outside. But wearing a little too close there. But like wearing them at like a party or casual event, no. Just wear a little nicer shoe, like a tennis shoe.
I'm kind of I'm biased in the sense that I was raised.
Slides.
Oh yeah, I was raised very like. I want to say, like my dad was big on manners, and so was my grandpa. So I never go out of the house in sweatpants. Like I just don't do that. It's nothing I do. So even that tier where most people do that, I couldn't tell you the last time I did that. It's been years and years.
I can't imagine.
I'm in jeans every single day. I'm out of the house, either that or dress pants.
Yeah,
one of the two.
One of the two.
So then my mind goes to, it's like, Crocs. What? No, you wear nice shoes or tennis shoes, something like that. You don't wear that. Yeah. So I wear sweatshirts sometime out of the house, but most times, no. It's like a jacket or
it's a jacket or
vest or something.
Something a little nicer.
Something, I just casual, and I'm like sweatpants or pajama pants for me. I own a couple pairs of sweatpants, but they only for sleeping.
I feel like when you're going out in public, honestly, just in general, dressing up a little nicer can just make yourself feel better about yourself. It does. You just feel better. You feel like you're putting in a little more effort. Like especially if you're having a hard time mentally, and you're just like, okay, let me just real quick slap on a pair of jeans and a t-shirt. I'm already feeling a little better going out in public.
Exactly. It's kind of like I just got an internship for the summer. And even though it's technically a lot of office work, I'm kind of considering dressing up just for that, because I know I'm way more productive when I'm dressed nice. It's not uncommon that I go to school. Like sometimes I go in a suit jacket just because I know I'm more efficient when I dress nice. Yeah, there is something to dress nice and you just feel better.
Yeah, and it's not like you're telling just like dress up because you need to dress up like you're going out in public. No, it's for your own sake.
Oh yeah, your own benefit.
Your own benefit. It benefits you. I love wearing dresses. Like in the summer. Yeah. I am a dress person. Like they're so comfy. Like it's like I'm wearing pajamas outside, but I look nice.
But it looks nicer than pajamas.
It looks nicer than pajamas.
Yeah.
So I love putting on just a smidgen of makeup just to like make myself look a little more presentable, and I really like how it makes me feel. It makes me feel nice.
It's one thing is I never notice, I should say, if people are in sweatpants or something like that outside the house.
Yeah, never notice.
But I do notice when they dress up. So it just flies under the radar. And then if I see they put effort into it, it's like, oh, wait a second, I just noticed. Like, you look very nice.
Like, good for them.
Yeah. All right. So that's my Crocs question.
Yeah, there we go.
I need to know.
Okay. Okay, so this one's kind of a broad. I could say you could answer it both ways, both for the podcast and for just your future plans in general.
Okay.
It's what have you planned for the future, both for podcast and just like what are you going into college for and what do you think you're going to do for that?
Yeah. I had one question here. Where do you see yourself in 20 years? But we'll get to that in a second.
We'll go
then. So
yeah.
where do I see myself in the future? Right now, majoring in business management. So I'm using that because it's very versatile. You can do a lot with business management. My dream job, it's so hard because in the future I simultaneously want a big family, I want a bunch of kids, but that costs money. And if my dream job does not inherently, it's not a higher paying job. I would love to work in the pro-life movement, or work with nonprofits. Both of which very good jobs. However, it's not the highest pay. So I need to figure out how to balance that someday in the future. But I recently was offered. I was nominated for this like fellowship program in Students for Life.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and if I do it, like if I get in, there's actually access to pro-life jobs working for like Students for Life or stuff like that. So I'm really hoping that as we go down this pathway, maybe someday I get to end up working in the pro-life movement as my career. That would be fantastic.
Nice.
I still remember back in, I think it was like 7th grade. I had this religion teacher that one time said it was like, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And you hear that all over. But this is the first time I heard it, and it stuck with me. And then I started volunteering at our local food pantry, and I've always had this passion for working in nonprofits to just helping people. So I know if I could work with the pro-life movement, I'd be great, and it would not tire me out like a high-paying like business job would. Yeah, it wouldn't feel like a job. It would just feel like this stuff. We don't get paid to do this. We just do this for the heck of it. Like this is just for your enjoyment and our enjoyment. Yeah, it feels good for us because we're doing a good thing. And any of you guys watching, you're not paying to watch. You're just watching because hey, it's there and that's what we want.
It's fun. It's entertainment.
Oh yeah, we're not asking to get anything out of this aside from we just like to do the work. So if I could work in the pro-life movement, that would be my dream. I would like to have a big family. Another thing that does not coincide with either of those things is I think tiny homes are fun, but I'm like big family tiny home doesn't really work.
Doesn't really work out a little bit.
What I would love to do, and this is something I don't tell everybody, but now I guess I'm going to because we're saying it on a podcast. I would love to, as I get out of college, move into a tiny home, get married, live in the tiny home for a few years until my family starts to kind of grow, then keep the tiny home in my backyard, almost like a playhouse of sorts or a guest house. Like I think tiny homes are so cool. I just love the dynamic of close families and tiny houses. But if I have a big family, I come from a family of 7 kids. I can't fit 7 kids in a teeny tiny home.
No.
That sounds like a hectic nightmare. And I love my siblings, but I would not do that. Yeah.
I love that.
But, all right, but very similar question. 20 years from now, Bekah, where would you want to be?
Ooh. That's a hard question. I would love to go kind of far in my hairstylist's job. I would love to just learn more things and get better at hair and build my clientele more. Eventually, maybe possibly if we can afford it, I could be a stay-at-home mom. I would love to have my own little garden. I would love to bake bread, and I would love to teach my kids that.
Baking, I like bread. Bread is good.
Bread is good.
I like cinnamon in my bread.
Cinnamon?
That's good.
I also would like podcast-wise. Honestly, I would love for us...
Like what?
Podcast-wise.
Oh, podcast-wise. Yes.
Podcast-wise, in 20 years, I would love for us to definitely get way bigger. I would love to... Honestly, if we could honestly just make a little bit of money, but not for us.
For the podcast.
For the podcast, to get more people here or do something with it, give it to some pro-life organizations and... do all that stuff. Yeah. Like, that would be so nice to make just a smidgen of money here.
I've thought that same thing. I don't want money from the podcast. I want money for the podcast.
Yeah.
Like, just the other day, I had to buy a video editing software.
Yeah.
And that was kind of expensive. And it would be nice if the money, like, came right from the podcast.
Yeah.
And someday that might be possible.
Yeah.
And like I said, I like to, when we have people come on for interviews, in the future we want to, I don't know, pay for gas or something like that if they have to drive, or if it was somewhere big, obviously fly them or something.
Yeah,
or
something.
buy them lunch or dinner or something. And if there was just a tiny amount of money coming out of it way in the future, just to give the right back to the podcast, or like you said, a pregnancy resource center or something like that.
Something like that. That would be so nice.
That would be so cool. And yeah, I would agree.
I love that, and I really want that to happen one day.
Yeah, someday. We'll see what we get.
Alrighty, hold on. I need to pull my question list. I did that one.
Yeah. Which means if you guys, for those of you listening, share the podcast.
Yes,
Get our name out
please.
there.
We want it to get bigger. That would be so nice and
Again.
so appreciated if we could spread the word about it.
And if you haven't hit subscribe yet, hit subscribe right now.
Please.
It costs you nothing. All it does is help us grow just a little bit more. Like I remember there was, like I might have mentioned one time when I first was learning how to use YouTube, I was like, what am I committing to if I hit the subscribe button? What you're committing to is supporting the channel.
Yeah.
And you it'll go on the side of your screen where all of your videos, like all your subscriptions are. It doesn't cost you anything. It just supports us.
You don't even
so
have
hit the button.
Yeah,
Hit it right now. Why didn't you hit it?
You don't even have to hit the notification bell. Just hit
the
subscribe button.
That's all we ask.
It just helps us out a little bit.
Yeah.
Alrighty, ready?
I am ready.
What's your favorite number?
Favorite number? 23.
23.
I do like 23 because I was born. I was born on the 23rd of February. Nickelodeon was the 23rd, like channel 23 on my TV. And I thought it was cool that Nickelodeon had my name in it and was also channel 23, which was on my birthday was. So 23 is a good number, and I had an answer right out the bat. You didn't see that coming.
No, I didn't. I was like, oh.
Yep.
Okay.
I was ready for that one.
Yep.
Actually, I didn't know it was coming, but I think it was good. All right. Here's a question. If you could make a career out of this podcast, would you choose your hairstylist job or like a career that would actually pay what can I think of it, substantially out of the podcast? Would you choose your hairstyle job or the podcast? Obviously, this is just podcast.
I would choose podcast because, honestly, I love my hairstylist job. But also, I love this one a little bit more. And I think I would, if I were to be a stay-at-home mom, I would still do this.
Yes.
Like, this would, if I could make money off of this and actually be able to have a little bit of income come in, then that would be, honestly, preferable.
Yeah.
For me.
I think someday we should sell merch. I think that'd be fun.
That would be fun. That would be fun.
That would be a way to bring in a little money for
like mugs and shirts.
Yeah, stuff like
that.
that.
That'd be cute.
Just in the future.
Maybe pens.
Yeah, if you want to see that,
comment.
Let us know.
Let us know if you want merch. That would be dope.
Yeah, it wouldn't need to be expensive, but just a little, like I said, a little extra money just for the channel.
Just for
money
the channel.
Wouldn't come to us. It would just go to the channel.
It'll just profit that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, this one's kind of I got two.
All right, cool. I don't.
Oh,
it's fine.
Okay.
I'll think of something.
Okay, yeah. Well, maybe we can do the last one as like a both of us thing.
All right, cool.
Okay, we'll do the last one. Okay, what are your thoughts on drinking? I don't know why that one came to my brain, but that one came to my brain. Yeah, what are your thoughts on drinking?
Like, you mean like alcohol and stuff like? Okay, when it comes down to it, that's a good question. I don't drink, and I won't till I'm 21. My personal opinion is, the law is there for a reason. I don't really have a reason to break it, so I'm not gonna. I'll just stick to what it is. I've always been a big, I'm a deep thinker, so I don't like the idea of a drink affecting my clarity of thought or my actions by any way, shape, or form. So it's been it makes me more nervous than I've ever been tempted to, and aside when you go to church, when you have when you receive communion, technically I've tried church wine. And I do like the taste of it.
Church wine is so good.
So I can say just from that, I like the taste of wine. But when it comes to drinking, I'm like, it's not something I would want to do before I'm 21, just because the law is there. I don't have a reason to break the law, so I'll just wait till I'm 21. Who cares? That's just my personal opinion on at least the drinking age.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Okay, so this last one can be for the both of us.
Okay.
But what are our favorite movies?
Favorite movie?
You can go first.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna say what came out recently. I'll say two different ones. Wonka. That just came out. Oh my goodness!
It was
if you
so
have not
good.
seen Wonka, go see Wonka
see
as soon as you can, or if it's out of theaters, buy it when it comes out. This movie is the most wholesome, happy. It is a musical. Some people say they didn't know that, but if you've seen the other Willy Wonka movies, you know that they've all been musicals. But yes, this one is a musical. Super happy, super funny. All the actors do fantastic.
Oh my god, I love that movie. I had my mom watch it. I was like, you have to see
the soundtrack, top notch.
Yes, it's stuck in my head.
Yeah, it's so good.
We should have that clip from the beginning. If we got the chocolate, you could put that the beginning or the end. That would be fun. That would be funny.
So we're rolling.
We're rolling. Chocolate. And there's chocolate.
Only Wonka makes your eyes pop out. There's something.
You should.
I will.
That would
Anyway,
be fun. That would be fun.
yeah. Aside from that, a little
Okay.
lesser known movie. It's called Fantastic Mr. Fox. Almost no one's seen it. It's based on an older book. Really weird, but the humor in it is just superb. It's just really weird, funny, and anytime they cuss in it, they always say cuss. Like they just say the word
They
cuss.
just say that.
Yeah, they're like, you scared the cuss out of us. And it's really funny.
Oh my
And he's like, are you cussing with me? He's like, don't cuss at me, you little cuss. So the humor in it, it's very funny.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I do like Fantastic Mr. Fox. All right, what about you? What's your favorite movie?
My favorite. Okay, so I'm the type of person who likes emotional / sad movies.
Slash.
Yeah. Emotional / sad movies.
Yes.
I'm that type of person that when I watch a movie, I like to feel emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, I mentioned it a couple episodes. The Catholic one. I mentioned in the Catholic one. Nefarious.
Yes.
I love that movie. Absolutely adore it. I could watch it so many times.
I couldn't.
I could. It does. I don't know. I just like learning about it, and I like feeling the emotions and
You like
getting on the
scary?
edge of my seat. Yeah, like
Mhm.
on the edge of my seat. Like I can't look away from watching it and can't stop listening. I feel like there was another favorite movie that I wanted to mention that was a little less.
A little less creepy.
Yeah.
I'm never much of a scary movie fan. I watched the FNAF movie. I liked the FNAF movie.
I liked the
not because
FNAF.
it wasn't scary.
It wasn't scary.
It wasn't scary whatsoever. But I did enjoy it.
I liked it,
Sure, there's
but
a
I also
sequel
liked.
coming?
Huh?
Sure, there's a sequel coming.
Yeah, they have like 3 movies like signed.
Yeah, we'll see if they all come out because I feel like if you release a very similar movie multiple times in a row,
But
we'll
it's
see if
also
it works.
different games.
True, but they're all very similar.
They are a little bit,
Not a little bit. It's similar. It's all Five Nights at Freddy's.
but it's 1, 2, and they all have different storylines.
I guess we'll
And there's a lot of the lore,
see. Mm-hmm.
a lot of the lore in the game that makes it very fascinating. That's what I like listening to about FNAF is the lore behind it and what things mean in the whole story, which I found very fascinating. But honestly, I just find murders like probably every woman does. True crime, murders, all find it
Why
fascinating.
is that an every woman thing?
I don't know. It just is. It's just so intriguing. It's just intriguing. I feel like a lot of women watch true crime.
Okay.
I love the Wonka movie.
I
Honestly, any movie musicals I really like, except I don't know about the Mean Girls one. I've not seen it yet, but that one just came out, and who knows? I do not like the music, just because they totally did it wrong. But I have not watched the movie, so I can't judge the movie as a whole.
Yeah.
But there's my little thoughts on that.
Well, there's that.
Mhm.
Well, if you didn't know us before, now you know a bunch of
Yeah.
random facts about us and maybe where we want to be someday, and you know that I like the number 23.
Yeah. So interesting.
Right. If you haven't at this point, you can't imagine why you haven't. Make sure you subscribe, like, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Any ideas for the future? Let us know. If you have somebody like when we found Wendy Imm, I was just told. I guess I was told by Bekah, but I hadn't heard of her. So if you know anyone from maybe around the area or something that you want to talk, let us know.
Please. Please and thank
Special
you.
thanks to Holy Family Radio once again for having us. Deacon
Thank
Jeff
you.
Compton for being our rad tech guy over there. But thank you again for watching.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate it. You guys have a great day.
Bye.
God bless.